into some hot takes here. We each of us came to the table with 3 different takes. A little bit spicier for every single take.
What you can't see off camera is my medicine cabinet, which I brought.
All right, Fields got the first chip in.
Not bad. Mike, if you can't handle this, you're the biggest baby.
Mike's going with the first one, eating the entire chip. A little bit.
Like, it's the freaking mild one. It's fine, right?
It is fine, you're right.
Not bad.
Mike, that's fine as he guzzles more milk.
Like, yeah, this is kind of hot, then I will cry.
And it settles.
It's, yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
You just kind of parked itself there.
Mm-hmm.
Hotter.
That's how I felt. I like it. This is the one I'm most excited about, Mike.
Yep, me too.
Being able to see what this looks like. The rest of the chip might help with the heat a little
Mike
bit.
is a very, by the way, delicate, neat, and tidy eater.
Yeah, what is this? Mike, what is this one called? Can you tell us, read the bottle for me?
Apollo. Hot one's the last dab, Apollo.
Oh, this is the last dab. This is the one that everyone cries at.
Oh, no. 10 of 10 heat level. Oh, no.
Why do people do this to themselves?
I don't know. All right.
You have like some sweat beads right now on your forehead.
What? Yeah. No, I don't.
All right. Whoa. Travis Kelce. Finished outside the top 7. Can I have one of those napkins?
Sure. Daniel literally let his hair down.
I couldn't stand it. Guys. It's too hot. I'm hoping that my hair being down helps dissipate the heat a little bit. How does the guy who does this show on a weekly basis eat that last one every single time?
I think Sean's got to have he must have like something he applies to his mouth. He must like take some sort of liquid pre-hand, like coat your mouth.
What's good, friends? Welcome into Fantasy Focus Football. We are back for round 2, baby.
Yeah, speak for yourself.
I'm actually busy. I'm going to be
Fantasy
I'm gonna
Hot
write an
Takes
article.
Day.
You guys take this show.
Please.
All right,
How about an update projections for the next hour?
Yeah,
you guys got this.
I have
We
some
are
work to do
pumped. I'll
here,
tell you
so
what,
guys-
every single show I end it with, don't forget to love each other and be kind to yourself. We're not going to be kind to ourselves today. We are going to dive back in on a second round of hot takes here in 2025. This is going to be a fun show. Well, it's going to be a show. We'll see if fun is the adjective you guys want to use once we're done with the show.
Let's reserve descriptions such as fun show.
That's fair.
For
That's
shows
fair.
in which we just show up to work and don't torment our guts. I have to make a decision in like the next 90 seconds.
Yep.
Because for those that haven't listened to one of our recap of last year's episode, you don't know this, but I will reveal to you now that I spent the rest of the day in the bathroom.
Yeah.
After last year's show. As a matter of fact, you guys saw me on the way out. Walk to the bathroom, and I think you guys were like, we'll wait for you. And then, like, you came back, like, 20 minutes later, and you're like, is everything okay? Have you fallen in?
Yeah, we went home, and a couple hours later, you were like, I'm still at campus.
Yeah.
Like, I can't.
So I
do
have to make a business decision one way or the other. And if people call out my courage or my audacity, that's okay.
I got to be honest. I guess
I have good takes at least.
I forgot you got. Well, we'll see if you have good takes right now. I forgot that last year you battled through not only the shoulder but also the gut.
This preceded the shoulder.
Yeah.
So I thought that was bad.
Yeah.
So my shoulder fell off.
You really battled through injuries last year.
Maybe
Phil.
that's why your body was fragile from the hot sauce, and then you fell on your shoulder, and
That's what it was.
You know, the last
apart.
thing I was,
Maybe that's what
that
happened.
could be it. It's actually very possible that I was just more vulnerable.
your bones were melting.
Also, we were noticing this when we were watching the recap of last year's show. Who was that guy?
Your hair was so tight. I mean,
Oh
you
my
looked
God.
beautiful.
I looked like I was trying to enroll into the military
That
there,
was- it
compared
was-
to where I'm at
Are you
now.
having
Looking
regrets? Are you going back?
I don't
You like
know.
the look of that guy?
There's some negotiations about what I don't think I'll ever go back to that short.
Okay.
But there's some talk about possibly cutting my hair before the season begins.
Oh, you were talking to
Oh.
the NFLPA coming with you have to negotiate.
We negotiated,
an
yes.
agreement
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, the
before-
NFLPA, the NFL actually asked me to buzz it. The NFLPA on my behalf said maybe we won't buzz it.
Yeah,
but
They're
we'll
that's a violation
middle ground
to
there,
tell
right?
someone to cut their hair. It's a violation. So okay, I understand.
I feel like you guys led us into this perfectly. Before we get into our hot takes, we got one bit of news that we need to cover on today's show. We do actually need to give the people something of substance on today's show. So it's not
there's
just going to
plenty.
be
We
us
have plenty.
tormenting ourselves. We got a lot of very fun hot takes we're going to give to you. But we did get a piece of news that is very important for fantasy managers yesterday. Rashee Rice has accepted a 6-game suspension that will start at the beginning of the year. Field, this is one of the things that you and I talked about is depending on where that suspension lands, it's going to change the way that we approach him in drafts. Now that you know that it's the first 6 games, How are you feeling about Rashee Rice going into draft season here over Labor Day weekend?
I think people are wondering not just how we're feeling, but how do we feel about this outcome as opposed to the possibility of him going in for a hearing on September 30th, which was the most recent expectation we had. My answer is both better and worse. Here's the reason why it's worse. I think it's pretty straightforward. We now know that he is going to miss half of the fantasy regular season.
Right.
6 games plus obviously a week 10 bye. So if you draft Rashee Rice before week 11, you will use him for a total of 3 weeks. And by the way, as a suspended player, you can't put him on your IR spot. You will have a player who for 70% of the first 10 weeks will just be taking up real estate and not be able to use it.
Yep.
Better, though, because there's a world in which Rashee Rice had his hearing on September 30th, and it was 6 games, and then he basically is of no value to you for the rest of the season. Or if you started the season slow with Rashee Rice on your roster, and then he gets suspended, you are going to have to sell him for probably pennies on the dollar because you're not going to be able to trade into somebody that could get Rashee Rice on their roster and utilize him right away.
Sure.
Now that we have the clarity, although it does stink that you're not going to have him for half of your fantasy football season, if you start slow with Rashee Rice, you could potentially orchestrate a deal in which you're probably not getting 100 cents on the dollar, but you are going to get something back in return because the person you're trading Rashee Rice to is saying, well, hey, I know I'm going to have him starting in week 7, even though I won't have that player in week 10 during his bye. On top of that, you also know that from week 7 through 17, with the exception of week 10, you might have Mike a top 12 wide receiver every single week.
You might. I think that's the thing you have to decide on draft day is, do you believe this guy goes right back in as a wide receiver 1? If you believe that, I think you rank him around 20, a receiver, 20 to 25 in that range.
I had him around 25.
Yeah. If you think that, there's a decent chance he settles in as like a wide receiver 2 or 3, because listen, we can't assume he's going to be top 5. He might not be. Xavier Worthy was a first-round pick last year. Obviously, Travis Kelce, best shape of his life, ready to make a comeback this year. They have other wide receivers.
Hold on, though. But you buy it this time around.
What? Buy what?
Like, every time a player says, like, best shape of their life, I'm like, okay, dude.
No,
so is everybody else.
No,
Travis
Dalvin
Kelce,
Cook-
I might take it.
Dalvin
Like,
Cook
the
was
dude
best
is
shape of
rolling
his
right
life
now.
last year,
yeah,
right?
we don't have a good track record of doubting Travis Kelce, so fair enough. But nonetheless, the fact is he might not see that target share of last year, and maybe he is 20th in points per game when the season comes to an end. So I think there's a possibility of that. You know, you got to look at the floor, you got to look at the ceiling. So for me, I have him a little closer to 30.
Yep.
I think there's plenty of upside players in that range, whether it's Devontae Smith, Calvin Ridley, Jamison Williams, Odunze, Travis Hunter. Those guys could beat him in points per game, and you don't have a 6-game suspension as well. Yep. So I think you gotta kind of decide how you feel about Rice and then make a call.
The one thing that you've got to do if you are going to draft Rashee Rice is probably take less risk elsewhere in your draft.
Chris Godwin,
Correct,
or players
Jordan
like
Addison's,
that. Guys.
right.
Yep,
Yeah.
Jordan Addison, right. That's exactly right, Daniel. Is that, like, I don't know that you have just one roster spot to kind of fudge with during the draft, but you probably don't have 3.
Yeah.
Right. So just be very mindful of that. Like, if you are taking Rashee Rice and you have a running back, like, here's an example of a running back that I would not want to pair with Rashee Rice. And not that I really want to have this running back on my roster anyways, but like, if you're saying I'm just going to go like light on running back and then pound like Javonte Williams as my RB2 or even RB3, like Javonte Williams could be the backup by like week 2 this season in Dallas, right? So just understand that if you're going to roll the dice on Rashee Rice, you got to go for a bit more certainty elsewhere.
Yep, with you on that. All right. And with that, my friends, before we get into anything, I do want to give a quick shout out. Before we can't speak anymore on this show, I want to shout out Trophy Smack. We got a trophy chain over Field's shoulder right here. Use the promo code FOCUS10 over at trophysmack.com. You get 10% off, again, using the promo code FOCUS10. So go out and grab that. And with that being said, let's dive in to our first set of hot takes.
Oh boy.
Hey, yo.
This is going to be level 2 out of 10. I'd like to call this 1st and 5. We just had encroachment on the defense.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. I love Mike Clay's bringing out the medicine
Mike,
cabinet.
I got all the stuff.
We're starting calling you the pharmacy.
I even got
dude.
crackers just in case, okay?
That's incredible.
Should I pull them
So
out
we
here?
did come a little more prepared.
I'll share
So
those.
For those that
I got medicine, wipes.
I don't think we can show this, but on the,
right
the
here.
last, I don't think we showed this in the video because there was a different studio and it's hard to see everything. But last year we came in with chips and sauce, obviously.
Yep.
And then the milk we had was Nesquik milk.
Yes.
Like
protein milk.
Vanilla protein, milk.
Yeah.
This is just straight up whole milk right here.
Honestly,
like the kind of stuff that you should be drinking to dull some of the hotness from the sauce.
Although I will say, I don't know that this is near enough.
Yeah.
You have 2 over there?
I do.
Yeah, we all have 2.
Yeah, we all have 2.
I feel like I need 7.
I don't drink. I'm not
we'll
like
find out.
my kids who just drink milk. Like I'll have a cup of milk with dinner or something.
Not back on milk.
No, I'm not. Do you guys drink milk?
Like Shane Gillis said, he during the pandemic he moved back in with his mom. He's back on milk now.
Oh, really?
Milk all the time because he's back home. Never.
Do you not drink milk? You guys can't tell that milk's done my body good?
You just like
I didn't
randomly-
need that
hold on.
silence. There was a pause and a
No one was
silence I
thinking
didn't
that.
appreciate, guys.
Like there's a time in your
Notice.
day where you're like, I'm going to go have a glass of milk.
No, definitely not.
No, not in
anymore.
a long time.
Not anymore.
Not a
Yeah.
lot. My dad used to have us have a glass of milk with dinner, which we still to this day are like, okay, that was a decision.
Why
but
did Dad make us do that?
I don't know, but maybe it was good for us. I don't know. Maybe
All
I have
right.
strong bones now.
Oh,
Who knows?
man. I mean,
I
it's
didn't break
possible.
my shoulder last year. I'm just saying,
Mike, it was a dislocation, not a break. Thank you very much.
Field, do you want to go first, or do you want me to have Mike go first and
I'll
you
go
continue to
first.
think about
I'll
it?
go
All right, so
first.
this is
Level
the first
2.
and 5,
I think
right?
I might just keep it here in this little guy right here. I'm
All
gonna
right.
keep it on 2 all day. You guys didn't mess with me a little. That's like the babyest scoop ever.
That is a baby
Guys,
scoop.
I'm not kidding. I was in the bathroom for 12 hours.
This is the one you could handle, though. This is one. This is like mine.
Like I said, this is first and 5. You had encroachment on the defense. It's a really easy setup. You got an easy
Not bad
play.
right there.
All right, first hot take.
Here we go.
Field
Yates,
Yates.
take 1. George Kittle outscores Brock Bowers or Trey McBride or both this season.
Wow.
Okay.
We've been talking a lot about those two in a tier unto themselves. Why are you laughing at me, by the way?
No, I'm just.
We're just
You're
I'm
anticipating
ready.
what
I'm
could
waiting
happen.
to see.
George Kittle actually averaged more fantasy points per game than any other tight end in the
Sure
NFL
did, yeah.
last year.
Absolutely.
George Kittle also, for all the talk that we've had about like, should it be Ricky Pearsall or should it be Jawan Jennings, we might be missing the forest for the trees a little bit there, which is that it might just be all of Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle.
Yep.
Right? Kittle should have a very healthy target share this season. Wouldn't surprise any of us if it's around 25%.
It could get that high early in the season, I think.
Yeah, definitely early on in the season. On top of that, like Kittle's an amazing player. He's just an amazingly talented guy who probably in a different set of circumstances, either the team that he played on or if he had like a little bit more selfishness to him, could have way bigger numbers because he's asked to do a lot of the dirty work in San Francisco, and because he's an A+ dude, is like, I will go out there and block the crap out of guys for you for most of the game. I think in some ways he's become underrated as a receiver. Not that I have any concerns about Brock Bowers or Trey McBride, but it's one of the reasons why Kittle was one of my, I think, 3 most drafted players during our mock draft project. I was getting Kittle at the end of the 5th round in a 10-team league. Like, yes, those 2 guys are totally worth paying the price for, but Kittle could absolutely mash. He's had a year in which he led the NFL in receiving yards amongst tight ends. Like, he's had double-digit touchdown seasons. Plenty of upside here.
Yeah, that was my take in my Ultimate Draft Board article, which and this is something I learned during that experiment, which was like, oh, I want one of Bowers or McBride, and then a couple rounds later, I'm like, oh man, Kittle's still there. And after seeing that a couple of times, I thought actually the best value is George Kittle in fantasy drafts. And by the way, Kyle Shanahan has a history of being very game plan dependent. It's not like we're going to go into a game and spread it and make sure all the guys get their 7-8 targets. There's games where he'd have like Richie James get 15 targets because that's what the game plan that happened. Like that's
Don't like
because
that.
the game plan would suggest it. But that is something that has affected George Kittle at times. He'd be very boom bust, but not last year. 14 full games. He had 13 weeks in the top 12, which is incredible. In fantasy,
That's nuts.
that consistency is wild. To be a top 12 scorer, 13 of 14 games. So I'm with you, and especially with the receiver injuries, he's in a good spot.
So that was like a cold hot take.
That was a low-level hot take,
I mean,
but
it
it's
wasn't
all right. We
2
got to
on a
start at the
10.
bottom,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like that's how
yeah,
it
yeah.
works.
Yeah.
I don't hate that. All right,
My
Mike
turn?
Clay,
All right.
your turn. This is hot take number 1. Like I said, first and 5 is what we're calling this.
I'm so nervous right now. I think I'm just going to stop. Yeah.
Honestly, I'm just pumped to eat chips today during the show. That's not too bad. You can handle that, Mike.
Not too bad. I feel a little bit on the tongue, like a medium.
Okay.
Maybe a medium in there. So it's fine. All right, my first take, a little hotter, I would say, than Fields. J.J. McCarthy and Drake May will both finish as top 12 fantasy quarterbacks this
That is
season.
definitely hotter than mine.
That's probably a
'cause
little-
it's 2 guys.
That might be a 5 out of 10. Yeah, both of them.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about these guys. They're my 2 favorite breakout players at quarterback this season. McCarthy, an unknown, obviously, de facto first season, but love this game. We've seen Kirk Cousins at the end of his career put back-to-back top 12 fantasy seasons together. Feeling it a little bit.
Yeah.
Last year,
5.
Sam Darnold, Renaissance, does it again. And McCarthy has the talent, has the rushing ability to get there, I think. And obviously the scheme with Kevin O'Connell helps. And then Drake Maye, again, I think this is a guy I feel like last year at this time I was kicking myself. I was like, why did I not draft more Jaden Daniels? I feel like I'm there with Drake Maye. I wish I just was more buying. I think I got a little stuck on the supporting cast and the fact that they might lean on the run a lot because that's a staple of Mike Vrabel's teams.
Yep.
However, he could run the ball so well. And if he has talent, year 2 is the quarterback breakout year. So if he gets it done, this ceiling is super high. I mean, there's a short list of guys I think that haven't done it yet that have QB1 overall upside. It wouldn't shock anyone, I don't think, if he's that next guy that makes that huge leap like Josh Allen did. So I'm not saying he's going to do that, but I definitely think he could finish in the top 12, top 10, top 8, maybe top 5 this year.
I love it.
I agree with you.
Who do you get more confidence in out of those two?
Drake Maye.
Me too. And I think it's like, who has a better chance to totally nuke and go for like a top 6 season is Drake Maye. Who has a better chance to maybe get to like quarterback 13? Probably JJ.
Yeah. McCarthy has the scheme behind him.
Better supporting
was
cast.
drafted early for a reason. Has a better resume and certainly has the combination of rushing and passing ability.
If you were in a 12-team league, would you just, if you didn't get one of those first 4 that you want to get, would you be comfortable just waiting and grabbing those 2 guys as your quarterback?
Maybe.
Or is that too risky for you?
Don't have to. Like, you can go safer because guys start falling. Like you can just be like, I'll take Kyler Murray and then take one of those 2.
Sure.
So
Rather
you
than
have
double
a
up on
safeguard early in the season. Although we did talk about this. What was it yesterday? Drake Maye's 3 of his first 4 games are very attractive.
They are very attractive.
At the beginning of the schedule is good. So we're going to know pretty quick, I think, if this guy's going to be a fantasy starter.
Okay. All right.
What do you got, buddy?
Then I am up. I'll do a dip. You guys did a little baby.
Yeah, you can do
dips
plenty,
of this.
man.
I'm not touching this stuff.
That's
I'm passing today. And
We'll
I
find
don't.
out.
If the YouTube chat wants to roast me and never vote for one of my teams in the mock draft project again or the mock drafts again, that's totally fine.
That's not bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
But if that's the first one.
Yeah. I kind of hoping that would be the second one. I'm a little nervous about 10.
All right.
Yeah.
My first hot take is after finishing as QB 21 last season, Dak Prescott will finish as a top 7 quarterback here in 2025.
I don't like this one.
Interesting. Why not?
I don't think you can do it. I don't.
How about I give you my reasoning first, and then you can tell me why you don't
good call.
like it.
My bad.
All right. He has been a
You're
top.
on the milk already.
Oh, yeah. I got a little
How'd you
baby
get
milk.
that big
Not
thing.
ideal.
Come on. Where's my? Did you bring that with you? You brought outside milk.
I came prepared for the show. Yes, my play.
I don't like that.
He has been a top 8 quarterback in fantasy points per game in 4 of his last 6 seasons. 3 of those 4 seasons, he was actually a top 4 quarterback. Each of the last 3 seasons where he's played at least 16 games, we're talking healthy seasons, which is what you're talking about when you're looking at a quarterback.
Yep.
He's averaged over 20 fantasy points per game. I love that for a guy that right now is coming off the board as like quarterback 14 to 16 in a lot of fantasy leagues. CeeDee Lamb is back. Adds George Pickens on the other side. I think Jake Ferguson is going to be a borderline tight end 1. I have him as tight end 12. I think if you waited at the position, he's going to be somewhere in that range. And most importantly, I don't trust the running game. You kind of mentioned it earlier in the show when we were talking about Rashee Rice.
Do I?
It's not. I don't trust Javonte or Jaden or Miles Sanders. I think it's going to be a bottom 7 rushing attack. And will we see a much more pass-heavy offense here in 2025, which is why, even though Dak Prescott doesn't utilize his legs very often, I think he's going to be a top 7 guy this season.
Yeah, I don't think their scheme is going to be as pass-friendly as Mike McCarthy's was. And you're right, he had some big weeks, but...
you brought your own milk?
That's what I just said?
I did, yeah.
He's tuned out already. He's like, I'm done with this episode. We just had this whole conversation.
Yeah.
Outside milk. Unacceptable.
There's nothing wrong with outside milk.
Sorry.
But anyway, my point is, he struggled last season. I don't think it'll be as pass-friendly of a scheme here. He's now 32, and last year he ran for 54 yards. That is a big concern. Do we think at age 32 now he's going to start running a lot more?
I do not. No.
I don't think he's going to get back to that 400-yard range. I mean, if he gets to like 250, 300, maybe he could pull this off, but he's going to need big passing numbers, and we didn't see that last year. I think
big passing numbers are possible.
It's possible, but you're banking on it. You're banking on it.
Okay,
He's not going to run.
Will Micah Parsons play week 1 for the Cowboys? Probably not.
Right now, it's not looking good.
Will Micah Parsons play for the Cowboys at all this year?
I think I don't know. He seems pretty strong-willed. I think it'll get done. I don't know that he really has leverage other than.
I don't know that I think he will. I just think they're going to be bad on defense. Like they're going to be bad.
Yeah, there's a lot of injuries over there.
A lot of injuries. They're thin at really important spots there. Like this could be a team that This could be the Bengals of
It's like a mini. Yes, thank you. That's what I was just gonna say.
Although it looks like Teron Diggs is going to play against Philly, so that's good. Getting Diggs and Bland in there, that'll help at corner.
Diggs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a good player.
we'll see.
This is why it's called a hot take. Sorry, my take was too hot for you already.
I like
play.
it. I like it.
I appreciate it.
Well, I'm just gonna tell you how it is. All right.
Nothing wrong with that.
You're the
Nothing
cold
wrong with
water guy on Hot Takes Day.
I am. Yeah. Hey, look, I haven't touched the milk yet. Okay.
that.
You haven't either.
I wanted to coat my mouth before we got into hot take 2. I think that coating is helpful.
That's why I haven't actually. I'm saving it.
All right, Fields Yates, hot take number 2. How are we going to approach this? You going to go back to hot take 1, or are you going to dive into the second?
I'm going right
one?
back to number 1. I don't care. Call me a baby. I don't care. Oh, that was too much. Ooh.
I don't blame you, man. You had a rough go last year.
I do blame you. You are a baby, but I accept it.
We'll talk about him behind his back later. Don't worry. I'm actually in the chat right now.
In the YouTube chat.
No.
I deserve that.
I want to be though, but no.
Hot take number 2.
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey finishes the highest scoring non-quarterback in all of fantasy this season.
Okay. All right.
This one doesn't feel that hot either.
Nope.
Sort of.
You got two. You got two
much
hot
like
take number
much
ones.
like the hot sauce attack. You're going light on the takes.
Well, here's the thing.
They're
I
all
went for
2 out
volume
of 10
shooting
hot takes.
yesterday. Like yesterday, before our producer Tyler had reached out and said, like, "Hey, send me yours and rank them." I started to put together a bunch of them because I care obviously deeply about the show and the game. I put together lots of options. Mike only came. He got pressed to finally find 3. He had 1.
Yeah.
I gave him 1, and then they made me do 2 more.
So I had a lot
Sounds
of them.
like me.
And I guess I was thinking more just like these are things that are relatively plausible.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that McCaffrey, and I've seen this so far in drafts and just talking to people, and we've talked about this throughout the past 3 weeks here. There are some who just feel totally snake bitten by Christian McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm.
And they feel as though they will not touch Christian McCaffrey. They feel as though he burned them too bad last year, and doing the same thing over and over again is definition of insanity when you're expecting a different result. I think you're either in or you're out, and I'm in on Christian McCaffrey here.
Me too.
McCaffrey, we talked about this with George Kittle. The offense is Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle right now in San Francisco.
Yeah.
It is those two. McCaffrey, I think, has as good of a chance as any running back, Jahmyr Gibbs included, Bijan Robinson included, to lead all backs in targets and catches. On top of that, Christian McCaffrey has a real chance to push for 12 rushing touchdowns this season. It feels like there's a revenge tour coming for Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, I like this a lot. I feel like if I get a pick in the second half of round 1, because here's the thing. You don't have to take that risk early in the first round. I agree with what you're saying, but you don't have to because you have Robinson, you have Chase, you have Jefferson, you can go Barkley or Gibbs. You don't have to do it. But if I have pick 7 or 8, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to strike on McCaffrey. It feels good to do because he does have that ceiling. He does. So that's generally my strategy if I'm picking toward the end of round 1 is if he's there, I'm taking McCaffrey.
Let's talk through something that I brought up yesterday on a show here at ESPN where I was asked, what are some of the most important questions or dilemmas that you're facing in drafts right now? Most obvious one is if you have the first pick, who are you taking? Everybody always asks that every single year. I think there's a really interesting inflection point in drafts. Mike kind of got there, but the first 5 players off the board in a lot of the mocks that we did, some order: Jamar Chase, Bijan Robinson, Saquon Barkley, Justin Jefferson, Jahmyr Gibbs.
Right.
We feel like those 5 kind of have settled in as the most likely top 5. So pick 6 is kind of a decision. And I think also RB4 is kind of a decision. Mm-hmm. Ashton Genty versus Christian McCaffrey. And in some ways, Christian McCaffrey versus, in my eyes, CeeDee Lamb at player number 6 overall, but certainly somebody else could be entered into the fray. How do you guys, let's attack those one-on-one or one by one. Christian McCaffrey versus Ashton Genty. Is there a clear and decisive answer in your opinion?
Clear and decisive?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
But I would go with
What's your
CMC.
lean? Okay. CMC, the lean there being obviously, there's a little bit of the proven commodity.
We've seen it before.
Good offense, right? Mike, do you agree? Yes.
Yeah, I have McCaffrey.
Okay. I have
McCaffrey's
McCaffrey
has
as well.
20-point difference in the projections.
Okay, so we all see it the same way. Obviously, Genty has incredible talent, probably less of a health risk right now, being fresh legs.
Yep.
That's not a wrong answer to take Ashton Genty, but we all lean towards CMC. All right, pick 6. This is important, too, because if you have pick 6 in a draft, this might be exactly what you're staring at tonight or sometime soon. Christian McCaffrey or CeeDee Lamb?
I'm going to take McCaffrey in that spot.
Okay.
It's close, though. I think it's a toss-up.
Is the lean because of positional depth?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Same.
Okay, so Christian McCaffrey versus CeeDee Lamb. I got to be honest with you. As much as I just made the case for why Christian McCaffrey deserves to be talked about even higher than pick 6 or pick 7 or 8 overall, I'm like a 51-49 CeeDee Lamb because one of my takes that I considered, but I think it would have been like almost too obvious, is CeeDee Lamb finishing as wide receiver 1 overall this year, which I think is absolutely within the realm of possibilities.
Well, if he does that, Dak Prescott's probably like a top 7 quarterback.
At least maybe a top 6.
He won't run
yeah,
top
maybe
6 probably.
top 6.
He'll be like Jared Goff. He'll be like QB 14 or something.
We could probably do a show that's just like the top 25 players, like rank the top 25 guys in fantasy football. Now, you can find our rankings on ESPN.com, but a lot of the decisions that people are making in drafts is not like, hey, I'm debating between quarterback 3 and quarterback 4. It's I'm debating quarterback 3 versus wide receiver 17. Who do you prefer?
Right.
Anyways, Christian McCaffrey's good.
All right. Wasn't McCaffrey and Lamb the top scorers of the position 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think McCaffrey,
So you're debating which one you wanted to go with. Your bold take is just
draft the
a
good
repeat
players
from 2 years ago.
yeah.
Well, I mean, Mike.
Look, I'm just saying, it was just an observation. I hear you.
Wow.
Obviously, they have the ceiling.
I will take this hot. Okay, so if it was so easy though, like why aren't they going first and second overall?
Because there's better, safer options.
Okay.
I'm just.
My point is this: is that I get it. CeeDee Lamb you can push back on, which is why I didn't use that take. I said it was too cold of a take. But like Christian McCaffrey has become divisive. He has become legitimately divisive.
I didn't know what to do with your hands there, so you just ate the chip while we were finishing.
Yeah.
It was a pre-chip.
All right, this is
guys. I dipped it.
This is 3rd and 7 right here.
Mike's gonna hate my third.
That's what this one is.
No,
This
I
hot
got
take
too much
number
on
2.
there.
This is 3rd and 7 right now. All right, Mike Clay, hot take number 2. We're gonna take a minute. We're gonna let him. We're gonna let him get it in.
I'm not touching.
Marinating.
Yep, no big deal.
Blah, 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 blah.
Loading.
While it's marinating, I'm going to start talking because it's going to hurt soon.
Yep,
This one's a little more NFL.
Did you bring outside milk, Daniel?
I did bring outside milk. Yeah,
This one's
I just
a
wanted
little. Yeah,
beat a joke
you're
into the
killing some
ground.
time for me.
you guys got some. You guys got some extra milk from me if you want it.
Okay. This one's a little more NFL, but it will have a big effect on fantasy. Of course, the Dolphins will trade Tyreek Hill to the Broncos at the trade deadline.
Wow,
I love it.
Going
Spicy.
to Denver. I'll put a backup clause in there of maybe the Steelers, depending on if they're contending. But I'm going Broncos here. I think he goes to Denver. I think the Broncos have a good defense. The offensive line's outstanding. The quarterback, the coach are all good. The question is the skill guys. Marvin Mims already a little beat up.
Yeah.
We'll see about Pat Bryant. I don't know, like how he's going to develop this year. Troy Franklin's there, but all you really have is Cortland Sutton and Evan Ingram. If they're a contender and they're hanging there with the Chiefs and the Chargers, which I think they will,
Yeah.
they go out and make a splash at the deadline, bring in Tyreek Hill, and he has a big second half of the season for fantasy.
I'll get to the fantasy takeaway here in just a second because I do have some good context that is important here. But I dropped my 2026 mock draft last week.
Yep.
My real 2020s, not my real football mock draft, not a 2026 fantasy football mock draft. And I thought it was very interesting to see that like the 2 pieces of feedback that were strongest was one, Browns fans were pissed that I had them picking number 1 overall, even though I made it clear in
Them are the
30
Saints.
different ways
Yes.
that ESPN's Football Power Index determined the order. Right, like I think the Browns are picking high. I don't know if I would put the Saints number 1 overall personally, but the bottom line is that Browns fans were irate with me. The number 2 piece of feedback was Broncos fans. I gave them a wide receiver named Jordan Tyson from Arizona State,
Like it.
younger brother of recent Cavs first-round pick Jalen Tyson, very athletic family. Broncos fans were like, "This is ridiculous. We need more offensive line depth. We don't need receivers. We're set there." I'm thinking to myself, like,
No, you're not.
that tells you how good your roster is if you're quibbling over whether we should add offensive line depth or a really talented wide receiver. But I kind of like it, Mike. And here's especially why I would like this idea. In weeks 1 through 9 of last season, Bo Nix had 0 touchdowns on passes that went 20 or more air yards down the field. He had 3 interceptions. In weeks 10 through 18, he had 5 passing touchdowns on those throws, best in the NFL, or tied for most in the NFL. So Bo showed himself to be a much more capable deep ball thrower in the second half of the season than he did in the first half of the season. Tyreek Hill's superpower is, of course, his speed.
Yeah. And I think, Miami's going to struggle. Their defense has some major issues, especially in the secondary.
Cam Smith,
there's going to be a lot of games.
Illness list yesterday.
Yeah, no doubt. So I think they're going to have a hard time hanging in the AFC, and I do not think that'll be the case for Denver. So I think this one makes a lot of sense. If they're struggling and Tyreek's not producing like he has in the past, I could see this going down, and I think it'll be a boost in fantasy football. So I'm I'm in on him for.
That'd be fun for two reasons. One, just to give Bo Nix another option to get the football to, but also because we can talk about the revenge games that he's going to play against the Kansas City Chiefs in that division.
Yeah, that
which I think would be fun.
That feels like a missing piece for them as they try to make the. I mean, their goal is the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah,
totally.
No doubt about it. They have a good
angling
roster.
for it. Yeah.
They're set for a run this year, and I think they can do it. They just,
Any of these quarterbacks that have young, cost-controlled rookie contract quarterbacks, when they have started out the way that the Broncos and Commanders have, they should be trying to maximize this window as much as possible.
Laramie Tunsil, Deebo Samuel, potentially Tyreek Hill of it all.
Yeah, no doubt. By the way, I almost mentioned DJ Moore as well, but I think Chicago's going to hang in there. I don't know if they're going to move him this year because I think they're going to hang in the playoff race, and I don't think they're going to move him at the deadline. I want to, like, it would have been fun to, like, send him to the Steelers in one of these, but if they are struggling, I think it happens. But in this scenario, I think they hang in there.
They're in the playoff race. Which one of the NFC North teams isn't in the playoff race?
All four of the teams.
I think they're all going to be hanging in there.
All four of them?
I think they all will hang,
At least hang long enough past the deadline that they're not trading away key players.
Felt like maybe that one was a little bit hotter. Mike, was that true?
You know what? Not as bad as I
gurgling,
thought.
And I had two little dips.
I was expecting that to be worse.
More.
It's hanging. Right. I'm hanging in there right now.
I wonder, are these the same bottles from last year? Doesn't hot sauce preserve really well?
They're new bottles. They have yes. There is an expiration date on hot sauce.
But doesn't hot sauce like last a long time because it's just basically salt and peppers?
I don't know. This is the science of. Were you researching in advance of this? I don't know.
I don't research fantasy football. I just research hot sauce.
Hot sauces.
Yeah. Ooh, wow. That one's hot, Daniel.
That one's hot.
Oh my god. All right, this is a good bet. I see where this is going.
You brought your own milk?
I did bring my own milk, guys. Yeah, I needed a little bigger milk for this one. This one's a half a gallon. All right.
Oh god, you want some yogurt?
I could use a little bit of nice Greek yogurt. All right, my second hot take is Emeka Egbuka.
Yeah.
Okay. Finishes 2025 averaging more fantasy points per game than teammate Mike Evans.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
All Mike Evans does is score 1,000-yard seasons and have 10 touchdowns, right? I mean, he does until he doesn't. Mm-hmm. I think this is the year that he doesn't.
Wow, that might be a good hot take in and of itself.
That is a good. I like that one.
Evans only has 2 seasons with 80-plus catches. He's played in the league a decade. He's not like a big catch guy, right? It's not where he makes his hay. I'm very comfortable, too. I'm one of those people, and you've got to decide this for yourself. I'm comfortable being one of those people that's a year too early rather than being a year too late.
I'm a year too late kind of guy.
And I get it.
I'm a chicken. I barely eat hot sauce.
I'm okay being a year too early. And by the way, I'm okay being a year too early because, and if you listen, you learn something here about a rookie. I don't know how well you know Emeka Egbuka.
Nope, don't know much.
In 2022, I mean, he's a first-round talent for a reason. 74 catches, 1,150 yards, and 10 touchdowns. 23 dealt with a bunch of injuries, unfortunately. And then 2024, 81 receptions for over 1,000 yards again and another 10 touchdowns.
He has the most catches in Ohio State history.
Yes, he does.
Darren McLaurin, Garrett Wilson, Jackson Smith and Jigba, just some of the recent players from Ohio State that also Chris Olave, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah. Seventh most catches in Ohio State history, 7th most touchdowns in Ohio State history. I mean, and that's coming from, like you just mentioned, all those wide receivers. They're not a bunch of scrubs. So he is unbelievable. For me, I think even once Chris Godwin comes back, there's going to be a ramp-up period.
Yeah.
And I still think that Emeka Egbuka will be a top 20 to 25 wide receiver even when Chris Godwin comes back because you cannot take the toothpaste and put it back in the bottle at that point. So I would rather have the more ascending young buck over the descending former superstar. He will have more catches. He will have more yards. He will have a higher target share and more fantasy points per game than Mike Evans in 2025.
Tough one, yeah.
Question for you guys. Mm-hmm. I think there's 2 guys that probably fit into this category, that define this category. Maybe a third, but definitely 2. I probably shouldn't ask Daniel this, so I'll just ask Mike, because Daniel's most recent hot take kind of suggests how he feels about it. Have we gone too far on Travion Henderson and Emeka Egbuka?
I don't think so. I was going to make the comparison of Egbuka and Ricky Pearsall. I think it's a similar trajectory because at first it seemed like, there's too many mouths to feed in these offenses, right? There's just, how are they going to get there? But now things have kind of changed, obviously, in San Francisco with, Ayuk's going to be out for a while, and now, even Demarcus Robinson is suspended. Juwan Jennings, we'll see how long it takes him to get going or if he even plays. And then Tampa's similar. Chris Godwin's going to miss time. Mike Evans, as you mentioned, is older, and Jalen McMillan, even, who finished strong last year, to be out for a while. Also, Kate Otten might miss week 1. So it sets up them to be really good out of the gate this season. My only concern with Daniel's take is that what happens when Chris Godwin is a full go? Is there going to be enough? I think like they're still going to choose Evans over Egbuka, I think, to be on the field in those scenarios. That's what concerns me a little bit about this. So I could see this early on, and then maybe it shifts the other way. And as for Henderson, yeah, I mean, he's going a little earlier, but also I could see him finishing RB9 or something. So I don't. I can understand it where he's going.
Let me give you ADP. Can I do that?
At one point for Henderson, it was like 83.
Yeah. Travion Henderson right now is coming off the board as running back 19 at pick 50.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I have 18 on my board. So.
Emeka Egbuka is coming off the board as wide receiver 40. Pick 101.
That's surprising to me.
I think we have been in on Emeka Egbuka, and we've been trying to pump that ADP, but it's still quite a bit lower than I think it should be, especially because the first 4 to 6 games of the season, you think that you're getting a starting wide receiver.
It's interesting. So salary cap leagues are super fun, except for the fact that they take forever to do the draft. Daniel and I are in a league together. Mike wasn't invited because it's
I know. I'm too good at those. Sorry.
We had our draft last night.
I do wish I did more of those because I love.
But it just takes forever, and like
it does.
Keith is the organizer. It's a great league. It's been around probably for about a decade or so. Our draft took like 4 hours last night. My wife was like, "You're still drafting," and I was like, "Don't worry about it." I have no, don't worry. But yes, I am still drafting. It's just so funny because the reason I asked that question was it's a keeper league too, so you have some guys left over. So I already had Marvin Harrison Jr. and Malik Neighbors. So my intent last night plus Chase Brown was going into it to find a running back. And the options are narrowed because it's a keeper league. And Henderson was kind of like the last of the preferred targets on the board, and I ended up getting him for $27 out of a $300 salary cap. So a little bit under 10%. And then I'm like watching other guys go off the board, and I'm like, dang it. I'm like, did I just overspend on him? Did I underspend on him? It's also wild because I got Chris Godwin maybe I don't know, an hour and a half later for $8. And you're like, I mean, that's basically free in a $300. It just, the prices all over the place last night were wild. They were insane. Didn't Jamar Chase go for like $1,000?
It felt like $1,000. And I agree with you. I realize this is not necessarily what we're talking about, but in salary cap leagues, I can't help but wait and see like other people come off the board. And then it's like, wait a minute, I can't spend this much money on Caleb Johnson when this guy, 7 picks ago went for this much money. It just, you feel like malpractice as a fantasy manager if I'm spending as much money on one guy and I know another one is so much better. So salary cap leagues are totally different animal.
All right, they're very fun. I brought 7 takes. You're right. So I'm going to give you my third one. 7 takes? Well, I just had a lot of ideas. And maybe I was more aiming for accuracy than I was like ridiculous.
I was bringing hot takes.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. My stomach is already gurgling and I've barely touched hot sauce.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
I'm going to bypass the sauce in this case. It's not a good feeling. It's bringing back some PTSD. Number 3, and Mike is going to poo-poo the crap out of this one. But again, it's not because of what we maybe saw.
Show.
Sorry. Mike is going to downplay this one. It's not because of what we have seen in prior years. It's because of the fact that we're talking about these players in a different light right now. Brian Thomas Jr. and Nico Collins going to finish the top 3 wide receiver this year.
Top 3, both of them?
Or one of the
one or the two. Okay. Yeah. All right.
I was like, who's the wide receiver 1? I mean, wide receiver 2.
Nico's never done that, so.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. Brian Thomas Jr. did get there last year.
Love that.
He just got there.
But again, it just, to me, my view on hot takes is, I mean, some of them are bombastic, right? But some of them are also just like stuff that we wish we had talked about a little bit more. Mike, you used this example a little bit recently. Like last year, we spent so much time talking about Caleb Williams and the potential that it was like, and this guy, me, spent way too much time talking about Anthony Richardson that we just whiffed on. Not whiff. We talked about Jaden Daniels too, but we should have just been paying more mind to Jaden Daniels. Like just Jaden Daniels, right? And it's like Nico Collins, an incredible talent, who had a 28% target share last year for a team that I don't think will be able to run the football this year. With a quarterback who maybe is not going to be a top 10 or even 15 fantasy quarterback, but is a bona fide slinger. Like this dude is an abs. Like I love watching CJ Stroud pass the football. It's a young receiver room besides Nico Collins and Christian Kirk. Like maybe Nico Collins just ends up as the highest scoring wide receiver in all of fantasy this year.
Yeah, I have moved CJ Stroud up a little bit as well as his pass offense because of what's been going on with the running game. So there's a little more appeal there. So that's just a side note on Nico Collins. On one hand, I could, what did you say? Not what?
Downplay. Yeah.
I could because they're 7th and 8th, so saying they're top 3, they're close. But also on the other hand, that means they're beating out one of Lamb or Jefferson or even Nakua or Neighbors. So, all right. I would say that's your spiciest of the three.
We're taking so the War Room League, which you guys who are listening may know. It's 16 team. It's a lot of us on the ESPN here at ESPN. It's all ESPN people. 16 team league, and we talk about this frequently, right? Like we talk about picking at the turn in like 10 or 12 team leagues, where if you want a guy, you got to go get him. When we're picking 9th this year in a 16-team league.
Ooh.
You still got to make your decision. Like if I want Nico Collins, I'm not getting him unless I take him at number 9.
Correct.
I won't get him at 20, whatever it is, 24. So like he's on the list.
Yeah. 16-team leagues, you're going in like making a decision on what am I sacrificing here?
Yeah.
What am I going to work on this season? Because I'm not going to fill out this lineup on draft day.
Correct.
You just can't do it. Like if you punt that second running back spot, it's going to be terrible in week one. I mean,
last year.
Yeah, I mean that's just the way it is with those leagues. You have to plan that in advance. Where am I okay being
until this year? It
on?
was a 2-flex league, by the way, not super flex.
Oh, they changed it.
Just 2
quarterback
flexes
plus 2 flexes.
Now it's 1.
Now it's 1.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I think, last year when you got guys who are starting, like a player who's out for the season in a second flex, you're like, it's probably time to.
Do you prefer leagues? I'm going to take us on a quick tangent here, but like, just while you're talking about it, do you prefer leagues where, not necessarily every year, but I'm going to say it for now, every year, like you kind of implement a new rule or a rule change, or do you like things being static? I want my league to stay the same.
I'm okay with like every handful of years addressing what may be going wrong. Like if there's something that is perpetually bothering people, but generally speaking, I like the same thing year after year.
Or to stay current. Yeah, like if you were like, all right, you know what, we're done with kickers now, or we're going to, at some point, a lot of people switch from standard to PPR, or now we're seeing, including our friends at the Nice Man League, switching to Superflex. That was a lot of fun. That was a fun element of being down in the Bahamas, was those guys, that was new to them. This is a league that's been around for a while, started the whole thing with Bahamar, and they were legitimately asking questions like, what do we do here? Like, what's the draft going to look like? This is all new to these guys that have been in this league for so long. So, which that's kind of a side note, but anyway, I like that stuff. I like evolving the league, but I don't want to constantly be just overhauling nonstop.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. I like evolving the league where it's like, we've been doing this for 4 years. It's kind of been the same. Why don't we make it super flex, or why don't we make it tight end premium, or find one thing and then live with that for a little while and see how else we like it.
That I like right now that I think is like evolving with the league. And there are people that just don't believe in having kickers in your fantasy league in general. I believe kicker decimal scoring is very much important now. For we see a ton of 65-yard attempts.
Yep.
And the idea that a 65-yard field goal can be worth 1 more point than a 49-yard field goal. I play in some leagues where it's just 3 points for anything under 40 yards and 4 points 40 yards and above.
Yeah.
You can have a 40-yard field goal count the same as a 67-yard.
That is not the same. Agreed.
Yeah. Now, you also get downgrades for, a 19-yard attempt if some coach is a coward and decides to kick it. Then that's
not our teams.
Nope.
No, not you guys. No.
Lions and Eagles are just
push it.
We're just going to go for it.
David Montgomery.
That's right.
Yeah. Are kickers going to be cool this year?
I hope so.
Cool. We're gonna bring kickers back.
Cam Little already kicked a 70-yarder in the preseason.
A lot of them could do it. There's a lot more. The position's speaking of something that's evolving, the kicker position, these guys are just better and better and better.
Hot take, do you think we'd see a 70-yarder in the regular season from Brandon Aubrey?
You think it gets to 70?
Somebody will take it.
Someone's going to give it a shot?
Try.
Yep.
I hope so.
Better be early in the year, because once it gets cold, it's going to be tough.
I would love that.
What do you got, Michael?
All right, here we go.
All right, last take. This is it.
Like this. I'm going a little.
Oh, that's you barely even dipped it.
We're going to get the right amount on
What a baby dip.
All right, we got a good amount. That's a respectable amount.
Do you have a cow in your backpack for the third hot take?
I don't. No, I only brought the 2. I wish I had. I may need one of these little ones again. I got plenty here left, though, so we'll be fine. You feeling it? You remember what it was like last year?
I'm not touching it. I'm already like shaking.
I just.
Oh, this is problematic.
Where's your stuff? Where's your medicines? Your medicines.
You may need it. I need 55 Tums, 55 ammonia, 55.
You want me to read it for you or not?
I ate all this to prep.
You want me to read this for you or not? Huh? You want me to read this for you?
We're taking a minute. Mike's got to take a minute. Hold on. Everything's got to calm down. Everything going on has got to just chill for 1 moment. Okay. We can breathe.
We're going to try.
Mike, you got this, buddy. You got this.
Your spiciest
5 or 20% of the top 25 fantasy running backs this season will be rookies. Ashton Jenny, Marion Hampton, Trey Van Henderson, RJ Harvey, and Bill Krosky Merritt.
Wow.
And we have some other options here. Caleb Johnson.
Yeah, Caleb Johnson.
Judkins, maybe. Tootin, Blue, Scatabo. Oh, my God, this hurts.
You're feeling it.
That's it.
Here, you want to just worry about yourself right now while Daniel and I react to it? All right, Daniel, do you want to start?
I love this. I love the call. I mean, we have a lot of rookie running backs that we do have high expectation on this year, right? I mean, Ashton Genty, Omarion Hampton, and Travion Henderson, they're all now top 20 running backs.
Yeah.
So we expect them, I mean, maybe not to be quite as high.
60% of the way there.
Yeah, we're already close. We'll see what happens. Like RJ Harvey, I think for me is the next one after that list. I don't know if you have a different feeling there, if it would be him or Caleb Johnson. Or
Yeah. Caleb Johnson would, it's close. Caleb Johnson and Bill Krosky-Merritt.
Krosky-Merritt seems like he's still going up a little bit. Caleb Johnson seems to have leveled off.
I think with Caleb Johnson and Bill Krosky-Merritt is they're such dissimilar prospects in the sense that like Caleb Johnson is a volume dude.
Yep.
Like if he gets, 17 carries a game, he might get there. Why are you guys laughing?
I'm looking at Mike's face and it makes me laugh.
Bill Krosky-Merritt's the big play specialist here. I know you're doing great, bud.
Going to milk too.
Yeah. So number 2, milk. Jeez, good
Can
job
you,
for you.
Mike? Can you give me do you have a reason why
I have 8 more?
Where have you moved Bill Krosky-Merritt to now that we've had like these changes
29.
recently?
I have him 29. He's the least likely to get there.
Running
I have
back
him as
29.
number 100 on my 100 overall players for this year.
Really?
Bill Krosky-Merritt.
I think there is a reason why you trade away Brian Robinson because you got something. You have too many players and they want McNichols there. They don't want to get rid of Chris Rodriguez, who will play more probably early in the year than he will later, depending on injuries. And Austin Eckler's not going anywhere.
Nope.
He's going to be there. So
Do you think Debo
he's the bold one. Like the other 4 would not shock us.
No.
Krosky-Merritt at this point maybe wouldn't, but he's the riskiest of those. But I think it's possible. I think there's a reason why they're going to feature this guy.
Yeah.
Like it. Yep.
I like it
Tongue
too.
is on fire.
You have your hot take? I know. I'm sorry, Mike.
That's too bad for
Your
Woody
last
Marks.
one or no?
Yeah, I got one more. Okay. I got one more. I'm not really excited about it, if I'm being honest, though, after watching Mike go through this.
Get in there.
He's nice.
It was fine, man. I was just acting. All right, just dip in there big time.
Yeah, just keep going. No, that's not enough.
I just feel it.
Does that feel good? I feel like that's a good amount. That's a good amount.
That's a hair
You
more
can
than I had.
You can
on
just
there.
take that ramekin and do a shot the rest of the way.
Not excited about
Making a
this.
cheeseburger out of
he's
that
gonna
hot
protect his
sauce.
tongue. That's a smart move, right
That
there.
is smart. That
It's
is
a better
excellent gamesmanship right there by you. Yep. Say it.
Oh, man.
It's so good.
Because that's what hurts. My
Just
tongue
like
is what hurts.
4th and 15 is what this feels like right now. Nothing
who
about it
is
feels
under
good.
center?
27.
Fred
right
X.
now.
Fred X.
Is that
Dorian
27 or
Thompson-Robinson,
no?
I think, is under center
27,
right
yeah.
now.
That was the Eagles Packers. I remember I was
Freddie
in
Mitchell.
college for that.
Goodness, guys. This is ridiculous. I cannot handle this right now.
How much did you spend at the store on milk?
You better donate.
Are you
all
going to
this milk,
expense
sir.
this or something?
Can I do that?
Probably. I don't know. There's got to be like petty
It's
cash,
not
right?
enough, though. Hold on.
Can I expense my medical bills? Because
All right.
I'm going to expense 4 rolls of toilet paper.
I remember
last
this
year.
now.
Yeah.
I remember this. I've been practicing, though, so I can handle it.
You guys are maniacs. I'm never doing this again.
All right. My hot take is one of the 2 rookie tight ends, Colston Loveland or Tyler Warren, will finish with more fantasy points than Travis Kelce in
You hate
2025.
Travis Kelce.
Over the last 2 seasons, we have seen something that we would not have expected in our wildest dreams.
Okay.
And that is 2 rookie tight ends absolutely dominating.
Was that
just crushing? I don't think so. No.
Was that an intentional?
No. Now we have 2 more first rounders in Colston Loveland.
Isn't Wildest Dream, isn't that a Taylor Swift song?
He's going to be in a Ben Johnson led offense.
what was it called? I can't hear it because of my mouth.
He said something about we have seen something that
We wouldn't have expected in our wildest dreams.
Oh, wildest dreams is, yeah.
2 rookie tight ends just finishing at the top of the position in fantasy football. Now we got Colston Loveland, and then Ben Johnson led offense. I think this is going to be top 10 in pass attempts this year. The Bears are going to throw the ball a ton. He's going to play that Laporta role. And by the way, the Bears already had.
You got it, buddy. You got it, dude.
Bears already had a nice tight end. Yeah, it sits like it's hot at first, but then it even settles in
on your
more.
tongue in the back.
Yeah. Oh, it's brutal.
Stings the nostrils.
They already had a nice tight end in Cole Kmet that they spent a bunch of money to keep for what it's worth, and they still used a first-round investment on Colston Loveland. Huge draft capital guy in order to get Ben Johnson's dude. And then there's Tyler Warren in Indy with Daniel Jones under center. Excited about that last year. For those that don't watch college football, 104 receptions, 1,230 receiving yards, 8 touchdowns, plus he ran the ball for 218 rushing yards and had 4 rushing touchdowns. Last year was not a love story for Travis Kelce fantasy managers.
He's doing it on purpose.
He delivered his worst fantasy season since 2015. You should have said no to drafting him. There were multiple weeks in which it felt like you had a blank space in your tight end spot because he had 6 games under 7 fantasy points. You don't like that. And these weren't like champagne problems. These were real problems for your fantasy league. fewest total fantasy points, fewest points per game, fewest receiving yards, and fewest touchdowns. And that was in a season where we know that there were less people to feed in that offense with everyone being hurt and being out, right? So I know some of you feel that I know that you feel this way. You're still enchanted with Travis Kelce, and we're just hoping that he can shake it off this year and get back to being the guy that he is. I know your feelings all too well, Field Yates. But when I look at Travis Kelce, all I can think to myself is I knew you were trouble last season, which is why I am never, ever getting back together with Travis Kelce.
All right,
I'd rather draft one of the new romantics, which is what I'm calling these 2 rookie tight ends, and Colston Loveland and Tyler Warren. Give me one of these 2 rookies over Travis Kelce. I have Loveland as tight end 8, Warren as tight end 9, and Travis Kelce as tight end 10.
Whoa.
Wow.
Good
You guys
for
wanted
you.
bold. You wanted bold takes. That was a bold take.
Well, but the thing is, like, these are calls. Like, these are things that we're not suggesting these are likely to happen. These are hot takes. You've got those guys both as top 9 tight ends. I respect the crap out of it. I still have Travis Kelce ranked ahead of those guys.
You do. Yes, you do.
Are we in on board bets this year? I feel like we don't do as great of a job paying off board bets. So,
Need another chip.
all right, can we just, write this down?
Daniel just lives the life of a showgirl, right? I'm a little disappointed you didn't work the new album in. That was a mistake.
I should have worked the new album in there.
You guys are unbelievable. Question for you guys. Do you think that Travis Kelce now being engaged is going to actually make him play better this year?
No.
Okay.
No. He went from hero to anti-hero last year as your fantasy squad. So.
wow.
He is more, folks. He is more. How you
I
feeling?
got him as tight end 4.
Tight
still
end
like
4.
Travis Kelce. Yeah,
I got him as tight end 10. What's the difference
I'm at
there?
6.
Tight end 7?
That's 6, yeah.
I'm
Okay.
at 6. However, I will say that I did actually have to change one of my takes because one of mine was that both rookies will finish top 10. So we were on the same page.
Hey,
Yeah.
I love that.
I wasn't, defaming or is that the word?
Yeah.
Defaming Travis Kelce,
Yeah.
demeaning Travis.
Besmirching him, yeah.
Besmirching Travis Kelce is part of it, but yeah. I think I do.
You're letting the hair down once again.
It's so hot, man.
Actually, I guess that's not much of a hot take because I have them 10 and 11. So I moved Warren up with Daniel Jones under there.
Me too. That was a big
Oh,
thing.
by the way, I wanted to mention this when you were talking. We saw Brock Bowers running a little bit last year too. Watching tight end evolve the last couple of years is interesting. I wonder if we're going to see more and more of these athletic tight ends running the football a little bit, which adds to the value because you think about the nature of the tight end position. It's hard. I mean, it's honestly easy to finish top 10 at tight end, especially in the back end. Wow. There's not a lot of guys that just come through each year. So adding value with your legs could go a long way.
Also, I know Travis Kelce doesn't actually run the football, but that stupid little flip play that they do,
it's
like,
great.
right? It's basically a run.
Andy Reid play.
Right? Like, that's it. So
I feel like I don't want to do board bets. I feel like, we've kind of jumped the shark there a little bit. I just want to do like a wager here. Like I want, if Travis Kelce finishes a top 7 tight end, I would like a Travis Kelce mug from you.
okay.
Mug. And if he doesn't, what would you like that's like commensurate value of a
Taylor
mug?
Swift new concert tickets.
Totally. That's a fair deal.
Yeah, those
That
things
seems even to me.
Do
Yeah.
you want VIP package or no?
Or
Would you like it in like
this guy can get us
Turkey?
into the wedding for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, he is gonna.
that's what I would love. I just want to be at the reception. I don't even need to do the wedding.
I did get a +1.
All right.
My wife.
Dang it.
Come on, Chapin.
What is?
God.
I mean, why Chapin over Mike and I? What do Mike and I
I-
not have?
I
that
don't-
Chapin
You know
has?
what? Depends on let's see how well you guys treat me for the next 4 months
All right.
before the season's over.
I think Field is great. Wait,
Yeah.
roll that tape from yesterday. I said
Yeah,
some nice
you said
things.
a lot of nice stuff yesterday.
Oh, that's a good one there.
I didn't dive in as hard
Do you
this
want a
year.
mug? But you don't want a Colston Loveland mug, do you? Tyler Warren mug?
No, I would do a Tyler Warren mug.
Whichever one scores higher.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm good with that.
All right. So the
Because
stakes
it's
are
one of the two. I think one of the two will finish higher than.
Okay, so the
Travis Kelce.
stakes are I get top 7, I get a Travis Kelce mug. What happens if Kelce finishes as tight end 7 and one of them finishes
I
as
get
tight end
a
6?
mug of my choice.
Yeah, then Mike gets a mug.
Mike wins?
That's what it
Together.
is. Yeah, that's
I
it.
always like I like that
Mike wins.
tiebreaker. Yeah.
right.
I have a few extra bonus ones. You guys want to hear them?
Yeah,
let's
are
do
you
it.
going to dip any chips, or these are just bonus ones
These are
for
just
fun?
bonus ones.
We'll decide which chip it would be.
All right, perfect, perfect.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right. This one's not going to surprise anybody because we've talked about this throughout the season so far. Rome Odunze and Jalen Waddle outscore DJ Moore and Tyreek Hill, respectively.
Waddle over Tyreek and Odunze over.
DJ
Okay,
Moore.
I'll do the middle one. For
I was
that.
going to say that's a hot take too.
It might be a little between 2 and 3 because
We've just talked about pedigree of the player and
Yeah.
just both of them just being outstanding. Maybe some vibes issues with the veteran and the quarterback in each. team.
Totally see it. Yeah.
Omarion Hampton, one of the buzziest players of the preseason, finishes outside the top 20 of running backs.
Wow, top 20. That is. I mean, we're gonna say like points per game, right? So not like
Yeah, I'm assuming-
not because he gets hurt. So I would say that's between 2 and 3 as well. That's
I would agree.
pretty
That's a
spicy.
spicy
I know
one.
he's an unknown, so it could go sour. And also like late first round running backs, not as successful as top 12, top 15 running backs who have been elite in fantasy as rookies. So, but still, he has a path to an awesome situation there with the
He
Chargers.
does. Here, these are hot takes, people. These are not things that align with how I necessarily feel and how I have been drafting and how you have them ranked. I have Hampton as a top 15 or 16 running back.
And by the way, how this happens is essentially not enough work in the passing game, and Najee Harris probably steals
Correct.
more than we expected, scores a lot of the touchdowns. So
That is exactly how it happened.
Also, I mean, fill me in if I'm just missing all of this stuff. Like, I know Najee is back. Like, have we had any updates on like what he's really dealing with, on
He's
how bad it
practicing
is?
now.
Yeah, I know he's practicing. I
It's
understand
bad,
that, but
obviously. Clearly bad. It's almost 2 months of time missed. So it was bad, but yeah.
But as long as he can essentially see, though, right? I mean, that was the
that would
question.
help.
So if he can see it, if he's practicing, he should be able to see. It's not like it's a nagging knee injury, right? So I would imagine I'm assuming he's going to be essentially a full go
yeah.
for week 1.
Okay.
Number 6.
Yep.
This is a player that I don't know if we've talked about him at all so far this preseason, so I kind of like this one. Bills' second-year wide receiver, Keon Coleman, finishes as a top 25 wideout.
Wow, that's bold. I could obviously a second-round pick last year could make a year or two leap. Has Josh Allen,
Pick
but
33 overall, by the way.
I think this is a bold call for a few reasons. In fact, including that, like there hasn't been a lot of buzz, right? It's been like Josh Palmer buzz
Except
this
for-
offseason. They have a lot of mouths to feed.
Deion Dawkins, left tackle for the Bills, who's great behind the mic, by the way. And he was at the podium somewhat recently, and he had this like comment that he just like kept repeating it over and over and over again. He was like, "You guys don't get it. Keon Coleman is a completely different player." And like some reporter like began a separate thought, and he was like, "A completely different player."
All right.
And then someone was like, "I'm going to press him on like a different question." He was like, Keon Coleman is a completely different player.
Yeah.
Now,
maybe they're keeping a lid on
Deion
the
Dawkins
breakout.
also an elite teammate, so he knows the right things
Yeah.
to say in front of people. So I don't know. I just feel like it's Josh Allen. Maybe he takes that big step. He ends up with 12 touchdowns this season, becomes DK Metcalf light.
They also rolled back the passing game a little bit last year, very more conservative last year, and it was better for team success. And that could, that might be a little part of why you were at QB4 and Josh Allen, and why the receivers in an offense where they spread it around might not, the offense might not have the ceiling of some others. So I think that's I like that. I like it, because where he's going, he's a palatable ADP, and if you're saying he has that upside, then
That would-
makes him more justifiable.
That'd be a big jump. I mean, he only had 4 games over 9.5 fantasy points last year, so he needs to be a completely different player.
He was starting to heat up, and then he got hurt.
Yep.
And then it never happened for him.
Josh Allen, a reminder, is 3 spots behind Lamar Jackson in my quarterback rankings. He's also 3 spots behind Lamar Jackson in my overall rankings, right?
Yeah, it's tight.
It's
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4 are
But
basically.
my point is, there's a reason he's not clearly number one right now.
Correct,
And
yes.
the reason for that is that the pass volume from 23 to 24 dropped a lot. What was it, 150 dropbacks lower,
Correct.
something like that? It
Yes,
was a huge
way
difference.
different. They play extremely slow. They just kill that clock up there in Buffalo. By the way, Buffalo hosting Baltimore in week 1. The takes are going to be
great games.
incredible.
Yeah, really fun.
Incredible
I'm taking,
takes.
that's in Buffalo, right?
Buffalo,
And I'm
in Buffalo.
taking the Ravens.
Really?
What a statement
They're my
that would
Super
be.
Bowl pick this year. So
Wow, way to take
we
my
got to do that next
way
week.
to take my pick.
We got to do
yeah.
our picks next
Yeah.
week, playoffs and Super Bowl.
Here we go. Last one. Cam Ward finishes
Yes.
the top 12 quarter.
Yeah, good one. This is a leg question for sure.
This is-
how much is he going to run?
Yes,
'Cause
correct.
he's not going to throw 40 touchdowns, but anyway, go ahead.
That's
Say your
exactly
piece.
it.
If
It
he
really is
did-
just it's all about how much he uses his legs. He is a good gifted runner. He's a good athlete. He's not a great athlete. He's a good to very good athlete. The Titans have what I would describe as a very average wide receiver group around him, although Elikayo Manor, my deep sleeper, keep an eye on that one there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's again, we're bulk. Another player that I feel like perhaps not just we on Fantasy Focus, but like the entire football world has failed to discuss Cam Ward as much as the number 1 overall pick in the draft deserves to be discussed.
Yeah, you know what's interesting, and I brought up similar the other day, like what was it, McMillan versus Waddle, I think was my example, but like, what about like Jared Goff versus Cam Ward, right? Like our rankings there's a wide gap, and because Goff is like a safer fringe QB1, but that's his ceiling. Like, he's not going higher than 10, most likely. He just doesn't do it.
You're right. He hasn't finished as quarterback 6 or quarterback 7 in each.
No, points per game. He's been better than 10th one time in his career, and he's put up massive passing numbers the last 3 years. So I think that's fair to say.
Yep.
Cam Ward, though, his range of outcomes is higher than that. So at that point in a draft, do you even bother taking Goff? I don't. Or would you rather just wait till later and take throw a lottery ticket at a McCarthy or
usually that's
Cam
where
Ward
I
even.
end up.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where I end up usually.
That's why I don't take guys like that. Yeah.
You guys ready for this?
I'm ready.
Bring it. By the way, that was a 2. I'll say 2. Maybe a little toward the 1, but
did he? How much? And I don't mean to derail you here, but he played at 3 different colleges:
Incarnate Word, and then Washington State, and then Miami.
And then Miami. Okay, all right.
Last but not least, let's talk about the teams in New York that use the city of New York. They don't actually play in New York. They play in New Jersey.
Okay.
Alan Lazard is the highest scoring wide receiver from New York this year.
That's a 4. What's a 12 out of
whatever's
10?
above the last one is what that is.
Yeah, terrible. He was on the might not make the team list until
who else is going to be on the Jets roster? They have
that's
no
why it
receivers.
was concerning. They were like, is this guy going to even make the 53? He was a little beat up there though for a little, but he made the 53. Malachi Corley did not.
And we made it through this episode in one piece.
I feel okay, honestly. I was
don't rub it in, Mike.
I mean, I don't know how I'll feel in a half hour, but for now,
I'm going to go stop over at Flamig Farm, which is one of the local farms here, and just start milking cows to help Daniel out tomorrow.
Yeah, why not? I got 3 of them right here.
You better take that home and drink all that.
I will drink all of
dinner.
them.
Glass of milk for dinner.
That's for
week,
every every dinner for the next week.
Whenever
My
we
dogs
go
are going
to
to be
the
drinking
farm,
milk.
The kids always our expiration date is not like they're too hot or too hungry. It's like, Dad, it smells so bad here. Can we please leave?
What?
That's what drags my kids out of the farm.
Out of the farm.
Got it.
Yeah, I'm going to be making mac and cheese at home. I'm going to be making, what other dishes use milk? Milkshakes.
Yeah.
I'll be doing, a lot of smoothies.
Yep.
Whatever I can to be able to help get through all this milk. All right, that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We're back tomorrow with one more mock draft heading into Labor Day weekend to be able to let you guys know where we would attack different positions within the draft. So we will be back, Mike, Field, and I, tomorrow. Don't forget to love each other. Be kind to yourself, and we'll see you guys on Friday.
Always take your antacids for your belly.
Yes.